Hello everybody, this is Marion with MyCraftBasketStudio, and I'm doing a tutorial today. It is called Halloween Pop-Up Card tutorial number 16. And you can find my tutorials and the free PDFs that I have that you can download will all be at mycraftbasket.com. That's my website. And then what I suggest is you print out the PDF that goes with this video or any other video that you watch. Print out the PDF first, because then when you go and watch the video, if you want to note something that maybe I covered that's not in the notes, you can make a notation to yourself, and then it's all together in your printout all together. I've got 3 pages, so you've got lots of note space right here to make notes, and then there is also a 4th one that I'm going to go over when I get there, because that's kind of getting ahead of myself. So when I thought of doing this tutorial, I had somebody ask me, what does a pop-up look like? And so I actually did just a cute little square, and then I showed how the mechanism works. So when you open it up, I put a little bee on there, and then I showed the side view so you can see how it opens and closes. So that's how a pop-up is. So when you open it up, the bee pops out. So I got to thinking, well, that shows how it works, but it doesn't explain exactly how I made it. So that is how this video came about. Originally, I was going to do a butterfly. And it's okay that I'm not going to, because I'm actually going to show you 2 different ways I made the pop-up, and the butterfly is going to be doing it on the, as we would call, landscape size card. So it's a landscape profile. When you open it up, there will be the inside of your card. Now, the first thing for a pop-up is, this is your card base, as any card would be. The pop-up mechanism, and what I'm going to be calling in my instructions and in the video, I say this is the pop-up base. It's going to be inside your card, and you want it smaller than your card, your main card. And by smaller, it's just 1/4 of an inch shorter and in the width and the height. So when I cut it, this is A2, so it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. So this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So just 1/4 of an inch smaller. And then you're going to go ahead and score it in the center so that it folds. And now this one was going to have a butterfly, and this is my butterfly, and I was going to have it pop up. And I will show you how I would do the pop-up for this. But I am also going to show you something as to why I'm going to use a different profile for the haunted house. So in this butterfly, just by putting it here and just kind of figuring, okay, my pop-up device would be there. When I close it, my butterfly isn't going to be sticking out. It's not going to be sticking out. It looks like it's going to fit in there just fine. But if I were to do this with my haunted house, if I put it here and I figure I want to have it there, when I close it, it's almost ready to be displaying, and you don't want that. You don't want your object, whatever it's going to be, you don't want it to extend past your card. So that's why you have to determine, is it going to be, the very first thing you want to do is it going to be landscape, or is it going to be a portrait card? My Halloween one is going to be a portrait one, and I'll show you how I did that one. So we're actually going to do 2 pop-ups today as far as how I do them, so that you can see both ways, landscape and portrait. So this is something that I don't think I've seen anybody else do, and I thought about this idea last night. Normally, if you look at any video on a pop-up, they take the card and they go snip, snip with the scissors, and then they open it up. And then maybe your pop-up, maybe your object is smaller, like my bee. it's a lot smaller. So ideally, I made this way because I wanted people to be able to see it. Ideally, if I wanted to do this, I should have made my apparatus here, the pop-up part, smaller. So knowing that, I go like, well, how can I determine what is the right size for the object that I have? And it came to me that I need to determine where that pop-up is going to sit on my butterfly. So what I did was I took a piece of cardstock and I took my ruler. Let me find my ruler real quick. And I determined, okay, I want to have some good support. That's one thing you want for your pop-up. If I had done the small piece like the bee, that's not very much support for being behind a big butterfly. So you want to have lots of support. So I measured, okay, I want about at least 1 3/4 inches. And then I don't want the pop-up extending past the butterfly. I want it to be hidden. So if I have the butterfly sitting, it's going to be about 1 inch. And that is exactly the template that I made. So if you look, it's 1 3/4 by 1 inch, just a hair longer, but that's okay. And I actually wrote the word template on it because you can keep these for other cards. That way you don't have to keep, if you measure one, you go like, 1 3/4, that's okay. It could use 2, but 1 3/4, that will work for, as long as you've got really good support on the back of your pop-up. All right, so now, as I described how this is created, it's 1/4 inch smaller, both by height and width, compared to your card base. So we've got that done. So what we're going to do is we've got our template now, and we always work on the back side of the card. It does not matter which side, as far as, because the pop-up is not orientated yet. It's just going to be the pop-up mechanism. Determining where the butterfly goes will determine what parts top and bottom. So I'm going to take my template and I'm going to place it roughly in the center. That looks good. And I want to have the template even with the fold. So this is where it's opened. This is a fold down here. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to draw. Doesn't have to be heavy, doesn't have to be light. This is the back of the card, you won't see it. So when I pull that away, I've got where my template was. Now, this is the nice part. I know right where to stop and how big to make it. So I don't have to guess. So I'm going to take my scissors and cut up to the stop line. Come over here, cut up to the stop line. And just like that, I've created my pop-up mechanism. Just that easy. Now, the way you get that to bend, I like to use a stylus. This is an embossing stylus. And what I like to do, you're going to do it on the back side. Just take your ruler and then I like to use a smaller one, and you're just going to run it along that edge, just like that. You're going to dent the paper. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Lined it up right where those two cut marks stopped. I'm going to score it. Okay, that's going to help the paper bend better. All right, so now what I want to do is go ahead and bend them a little bit, but I'm going to open it up this way. And then I'm going to, in my instructions, I say pull this out so that this center line is coming towards you. And then you're going to take and score it or fold that paper right on that score line. There we go. Just enough to get it started. And the same thing with the bottom one. So you now see it's starting to pop out. This is your pop-up right here. To help finish it off, what I'm going to do is now squeeze it and close it. I didn't bring my bone folder, but we'll use this. This will work. I'm going to kind of press that fold down. That's going to make that fold nice and sharp. And there we go. We've got our pop-up device. So once this is in the card, we're going to put it in the card. So you can see, yes, you're going to see the green right there. That is okay. But when the card is closed, then when it opens up, there is your pop-up. And so if you can imagine the butterfly sitting on there, in fact, we can, because I'm going to use some temporary tape. I recommend doing this before you glue it on, because that way you can see where your butterfly is going to sit, or whatever your object is. You can see where it's going to sit so that you can see if your card is going to close correctly. So now I pretend that that's all together. I'm going to close it. And then when I open it back up, there's the butterfly on the pop-up apparatus. There you go. All right, so now that's how you do the landscape card. Now we're going to actually make the one for the Halloween card that we're going to do today. So we're going to get those out of the way. All right, this one I'm doing from scratch. So this is the white card. As I said, we're going to do a portrait size card because my Halloween insert, my object, is fairly big, and I need to have that room so that it can pop up and not stick out past the base of the card. So I want to score this, and we just have to figure out where the halfway mark is for 10 3/4. So let me see here. I know that that's 11. 5 1/2 and 5 1/2 is 11, but we're a quarter short. So we want to go over 1/8 of an inch. It should be right. And let's see. Oh, look at that. Marion was right in her math. Yay. Okay, so now we've got that ready. Now we're going to do the pop-up part. And yes, I created a template for it. So let me show you the back. I wanted to have good support. I didn't want it to stick out too far, so I went like this actually and based it kind of on this. I figured, how far do I want to have that stick out? So I kind of went like that. So that gave me a good idea of where it was going to sit when it was closed. So that's why I made it that height. So now I'm going to turn it over and center it. I just think the template idea, I've not seen anybody do this. We've always just seen people cut with scissors and made it maybe too long or too short, too wide, too narrow. And I think this is really going to help people in understanding exactly where to cut. I've got that done. Now I'm gonna do the same thing as I did on the other one, just so you can see it again. I'm gonna cut up to that stop line. Up to the stop line right there. All right. Again, take my stylus and my ruler and score it. All right, I'm going to score it right there. Flip it over. Score it again. This works really well because it just helps the paper to bend. Then I'm going to open it up. And then I'm going to pull that towards me, and we're going to bend a little bit on that fold line there and a little bit on that fold line. And we want to finish it off by closing it, and securing that. I'll just press it this time. And when we open it up, there is our pop-up. And as you can see, that is going to fit really well on there. In fact, let's demonstrate it. I'll put my temporary tape on here. I'm going to put that there, just so I can see where I need to place it. Is it all the way down to the bottom? Is it all the way to the edge here, or do I need to raise it a little bit? Okay, so then when I close it, it goes down. And then when I raise it back up, there it is. Close it and then raise it. Well, it looks good. It looks good. Okay, so now, just because everybody knows how to put a card together, I already did the base and everything, but I will walk through it. So once you've got your object ready, don't attach it to the pop-up yet. As you can see, that's the last thing I need to do. What I did first is I got the base ready, the pop-up base, I got that ready. I went ahead and did the stamping, and I got that all ready first. If I had messed up here, it's easy to just do another pop-up base. If I had already glued it together to the card base and then stamped and it was crooked, I could probably fix it by putting something over the top of it, but I didn't want to do that. And so I stamped it first. Yes, it turned out. So now I went ahead and did the front. I did layer this saying where it says trick or treat. I did layer that. I stamped a little bat on there. My concept here of why I did a bat was the pumpkins and the trick or treat are relatively neutral. Oh, it's going to be a fun Halloween card, but the bat with the eyes gives it an idea that, oh, something may be amiss. So then when you open it up, you will have the reveal of the haunted house. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Now, if you're not sure where to put the glue, because we don't want to put it all over, do we? And actually what we could do is we can go ahead and put it on here. Because my object is big enough. Now, if it was the butterfly, I'd want to be real careful because the butterfly, remember the base right down here, the butterfly actually was exposing the pop-up. I wouldn't want to put glue there. So the butterfly would be a little bit more, you'd want to just make sure you got that glue in the right spot. Okay, make sure my house is right side up. And we're going to pop that out. And what I do is I put my hands behind here and just hold that a little bit. Make sure it's not past where it's going to sit. It looks like it's going to be good. And then I got one more fun thing to show you. As I said, that bat gives you the inclination that something is amiss. Okay, I think it's ready, so we're going to try it. So it says trick or treat. When you open it up, there is the scary house with the words Happy Halloween. There's lots of writing space here for you to write something or stamp something else too. Now, there is a separate PDF that is entitled, let me get that page. It is entitled Rising Moon Slider Mechanism. On this house, I actually put a little slider. So I want to show you what it looks like. So here we go. The moon rising up over the haunted house. And it can slide right back down. And then you can pull it back up again. So we've got the moon rising over the haunted house. Fun little interactive thing for your card. So the way I did that, this is on the back of the house. I put this white piece is the band. It's glued right here on both sides. I knew that my moon couldn't go down too far because I wouldn't be able to grab it. So if I had it down real far, I wouldn't be able to get a hold of it. So I knew how far down it had to go. And then that was where I placed the band. I didn't want it to go any further down than that. This will stop the moon from going further down. And it's glued right here, so there's just enough room for this bar here that it's attached to the moon. There's just enough room for it to slide. So this is what you see now in my picture. It doesn't show, but the moon is right here. I'm running out of ink on there. So the moon is right there. In your PDF, it shows up very clear. But this is a print off. So then that's the front of the house. The moon up just enough so you can grasp it. Then the next part is, this is the moon fully extended. And I didn't want it to come all the way out. So this tan piece that's right here, that's the stop. So it's 2 layers of cardstock that I glued on top of this part right here, the sliding mechanism. I glued 2 pieces of little cardstock there. It can't go any further because it stops against that band. See, I can't pull it any further. And so this is how it looks when it rises. Now, this part right here, I actually cut it longer because I didn't know how long I needed it. So I had it quite long, and I knew the moon was going to be down here. So I cut it right here because I didn't want it to display any further. And you can barely see that it's, let me see if I can do it. You can just barely see it peeking out right there. Just barely. If I'd went any further, any longer, it would be sticking out on the bottom of the house, and I didn't want that. So that's how I determined how short to make this slider right here. And so then I put those pieces there, and so then that gives you the mechanism for a slider. You can use it on anything. It doesn't have to just be a haunted house. You can use it on anything. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. This is on the pop-up for the Halloween card. And let me think what else. If you like my tutorials, please subscribe to MyCraftBasketStudio YouTube channel. You can go to the playlist. I have several playlists, and there's one there for tutorials. And it's also, the tutorials are on my MyCraftBasket.com site. So they're there as well to get the PDFs to go with them. If you like to see what I have for sale at my Etsy shop, visit MyCraftBasketStudio.etsy.com. I have some very unique, one-of-a-kind items there that I have personally made. I hand make all of my things, and I put a lot of thought into them. I like to have my items tell a story. So, for example, on here, Trick or Treat, the bat gives you an idea of maybe something might be coming up. And then when you open it up, the reveal is the haunted house. So I hope you will visit my Etsy shop. And thank you so much for stopping by. If you liked this video, please leave comments. If you'd like something else explained, I would love to do a tutorial on what people are interested in. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.